Hey everybody, this is James with WSTrades.com. I want to provide an update here on ticker UPST or Upstart Holdings, and I also want to give you guys some trading updates and let you know about some new trades that I got into. So taking a look here at UPST, I've got the weekly time frame pulled up here. I was looking at several time frames trying to identify some key levels here, and definitely looking on the weekly. Saw something here with this wick sticking out and this bearish engulf. So looking at that candle right there, let me zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, you can definitely see last week's candle. The sellers tried to crush this thing down to about $100. Buyers bought that up and left this massive wick sticking out here. Wick is almost the size of the previous week's candle, the body. So you can see that is a massive wick there. But then we have almost the same size wick sticking out to the top end here as the buyers try to get this thing above the 21-day exponential moving average here on this time frame, pushed it all the way up to about 160. And then the selling came in and crushed this thing all the way down to about 120. Well, I guess it's around 127 now. Regular trading hours, it closed at 128. Moving a little lower there in after hours trading on Friday. So definite barrier to the upside right here is going to be this 138 level or so. You can see the big wick sticking out here. You can see the body of this candle not able to get above it. Small wick sticking out there, and then a even larger wick from this past week sticking out there. So definitely to the upside, key level there, and then you can see to the downside where it sold off to. About $86. You can see they drove it all the way down on this candle to about 75, but then the buyers stepped back in and left a wick sticking out there. So to the downside, you could definitely keep an eye here to maybe the $86 level, and even further down there around to the $75 level. So taking a look at this run here, let me throw up Fibonacci levels just to kind of take a look at what we might see. So right now, we're at about a 38.2% retracement here on the fib level. So we're not quite to the 50%, but I would definitely keep an eye on that level there. I mean, this is a good rip from this thing getting pushed down to 75 all the way up to 160. I mean, that is more than a 100% move. So that is a really hard rip there. And, you know, as you can see, some profit taking, also some weakness in the markets driving this thing lower here in the past week. But I would think this thing would probably come down here and maybe test this 50% level. You know, let's see if we can get some buyers to step in there and reject that level, start to buy this thing up and, you know, drive this thing up. If that 50% level does not become some kind of support or some kind of a level where the buyers step in, then I would be looking definitely to the 61.8% level next. Kind of see if either of those two levels can be a higher low on this weekly time frame. You know, if you want to trade this weekly time frame, these are the levels I would be looking at for sure. And let's say the buyers do step in around 50% or around 61.8% and start to drive this thing back up, then keep an eye on that 138 level, because, you know, that was a barrier for sure to the upside. You know, if we can break through that, you know, maybe we can break through the 21-day EMA here. But yeah, if we can close above that level right there on the weekly, that is going to be a good sign. And for me, that would definitely be a good long entry. And then same thing here for the 50% level or the 61.8. If we start to see buyers get in at those levels and reject and rip away from those levels, you know, that could be a good long entry as well. If this thing falls below the 61.8%, I think it's going to come all the way down and test, you know, this $86 level, maybe all the way down to this $75 level, and we may hit that 100% retracement there. So that's definitely some stuff I would be taking a look at here on this ticker. You know, if you're trading a larger time frame like the weekly time frame. Let's take a look here. I know I put on some new trades here on Friday. Let's go 7 days back and see what we got going on here. So XLY, yeah, let's take a look at XLY here. So I think Larry alerted me to this one, that they had fired to the downside on the daily. You can see on the weekly time frame, oh yeah, they just broke a key support level here at 180. Tried to really, you know, the buyers stepped in there and really tried to keep that thing afloat, and it just broke below. Last 2 weeks, trading below that 180 level, which is really key. You can see it was resistance right here as it was in this nice uptrend, making this nice run here. Broke through that level here, became a support level, ripped all the way up to 215. Now with this big move down, there it is closing below. So on that one, I believe I sold a call spread. Yep, 185 is my short, or sorry, 180 is my short. 185 is my long. So I pulled in $145 there on a 5 wide. So I've got some pretty good range there. Actually, I guess I sold for right at that 180 support level would be my short call there. And I want to say that thing was probably around a 25 or a 30 delta. So I think I've got a good probability there on that trade. So definitely trading with the market here, seeing it in a downtrend, seeing it falling below that key support level. That's why I went call spread there. What else do we got going on here? So that is XLY. Oh, Fisker. Yeah, so I've been watching these guys a lot. Let's take a look at the chart here. Been keeping an eye on Fisker, noticing definitely some low prices. Let's see the weekly. Had an uptrend line. Let me clear some of these drawings here. Let's see if we can get, yeah, there we go. Get rid of those drawings there. So you can definitely see the buyers here trying to support around this $10 level here on the weekly time frame. But definitely having some trouble right there at 12. So I think I saw this here in this past week, zooming in a bit. I saw this big move lower. And this nice bearish engulf. So this thing was up around $12.62, almost $13, and then moving again below 11. I know it's been chopping around within this range, and I've definitely been looking at it, thinking about it, and then I finally pulled the trigger and got into Fisker in the 10s. You can see zooming out here on the weekly that sometimes this thing will hit around 21 up to 24. This was its best run here to about 32, but then you have a run up here. This is just above 20 and then 24. So, I mean, any of these levels would be great, even if this thing rallies back up to 20 here at some point, once things kind of settle down. That's going to be a nice gain. That'll be almost 100% gain there. But if, we can get some better rips out of it up to maybe 23, we see a couple touches of that level here, then that would be even better. But I'll probably look to get out of this thing around $20. If this thing starts getting close to 20, probably sell a call or something against my shares and look to get out and take profit there. So that was another trade I got into there. What else we got going on here? Call side. Yeah, so I did have a put spread on Facebook put spread. And I think it expires March 18th, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say it's got a couple more weeks. It's the March monthly contracts. So at one point here, things ripped up a little bit and Facebook did recover quite a bit. But then things started to sell off again and the price of Facebook started to work back down towards my puts. So that's why I went here call side and just turned this thing into an iron condor and grabbed a little more credit. Just wanted to pad there in case markets continued to move lower, grab some credit on the call side, reduce my max risk, but it was still a high probability trade. I want to say my short call was a 30 delta when I opened it. So, that short call still has probably a 70% chance or so when I opened it of finishing out of the money. So still a high probability trade, but, grabbing $145 there on a 5 wide, just extra credit to kind of protect myself there to the downside if things continue to sell off. And then also I rolled my X call. So I had a 30 call here on X and it was just a little bit in the money, and it was expiration day. They've been on an insane rip here. So yeah, I had this 30 call here, and I want to say they were trading around 30.42. So I want to say it was about 42 cents in the money or something. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, man, this thing is almost right at the money. What am I going to do with this? Am I just going to let this 30 call expire in the money, and my shares will get called away? I have a feeling X could still continue to go higher. Metals right now are just going bananas along with oil. So I'm just kind of thinking, well, I could get out of this thing right now, or I could try to hang out, see if I can roll this call and grab more credit. Because if they keep ripping, and I can hold on to the shares and sell another call against it, I can just take in more credit. And I'll probably try to keep doing that if they keep ripping, and if I can keep rolling the in the money call for credit, just keep grabbing more credit and more credit, and kind of see how that goes. If they continue to pump, harder and harder, at some point it's going to go so deep in the money that I won't be able to get any credit anymore to roll it. But for now, I think I'm going to just keep trying to roll this thing, and then if they start to die off hard or something, which I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we're almost overbought here on the weekly chart. Maybe once it starts to come down around that 30 level, I might think of just closing the position out and getting out of it. But if they continue to pump, I'll just keep rolling for a credit until I can't roll for a credit anymore, and just let these shares get called away. So that's kind of my game plan there on X. You can see I had this downtrend line drawn up here that they were respecting very nicely until this latest insane explosion here, once Russia invaded Ukraine. So I'll continue to keep you guys updated here on some of my opening and closing trades, and the markets in general, and different tickers in the market that are trending. Please like this video. Please also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this. Talk to you soon.